Oh, 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 oh. What the hell is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Beantown Breakdown. Jesus, guys, the listens, the downloads, the views on YouTube, it's been absolutely amazing. I want to thank you guys so much. If this is your first time listening to the pod or checking out the YouTube video, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay. Let's get right into it, guys. We're going to make this short and sweet to the point. Your time is valuable. So, as I predicted, and most of y'all predicted, I'm assuming, Celtics fans, Celtics win in Game 7. What a game it was to watch, people. That was electric. I was at work just losing my mind. As everyone knows by now, Tatum scored 51 and set the record for Game 7. Well, most points in Game 7 history, I should say. It was just absolutely amazing to watch. He couldn't miss. They couldn't stop him. It was awesome. And for Philadelphia, the way that things have gone for them, it was just, I was like, oh, their fans must just be absolutely heartbroken. And, you know, at one point, it just looked like Harden wasn't confident enough to make a shot. And Embiid looked like he just laid down and said, you know what, fuck this, like, it's over. And then his press conference afterwards, he basically blamed all of his teammates, took no accountability. It was rough. It was rough. So things in Philadelphia aren't going too good for them. Harden, I had him for over 8.5 assists. He had 6 assists at half, and then finished with 7. Like, it's just terrible. I mean, yeah, he showed up a couple games, but when they needed him most and when they needed Embiid most, they couldn't close it out. But our boy did. Mr. Tatum did. His mother sitting front row on Mother's Day, and he goes and does that after all the scrutiny he's been under and the way he's been playing. Obviously, he's played pretty decent point-wise, but starting off slow and everything. It was really cool to see, and I'm sure it was a special moment for them. And it was a special moment for Boston. I mean, the people at that game will never forget that. I'll never forget that. And, you know, it was just really, really cool. That's all I can say. So if you guys have listened to the prior episodes, we keep talking about how Tatum needed to start fast. You know, they fell into a hole. They fell into a hole, and, you know, they couldn't climb out. And he finally started fast. And he didn't let up the entire game. I mean, obviously it was close first half, but I think we had, I don't even know exactly how many points we ended up winning by, but the second half was just absolutely amazing by the Celtics. And, you know, after Tatum came out and had that humbly, I'm one of the best players in the world quote, and then he goes and scores 51 points. Like, what a way to silence the haters. All the talk in Boston about, oh my God, was he worth the money? He's never going to be able to win us a championship. And obviously, he hasn't got us there yet, but he put the team on his back, and he's doing everything he can to get us there and get us over the hill. So obviously the main story is Tatum, and we could sit and talk about that all day, but there was a couple other storylines that I wanted to get into, and that was the third quarter. The defense, I think they only scored 10 points in the third quarter. The defense was absolutely amazing. And I think that was really the story. I mean, Tatum scoring along with the defense and everyone else being involved. I'm sorry, guys, my phone's going off. And everyone else getting involved and doing what they needed to do. Now, obviously, Tatum, they just kept giving him the ball, but there was other moments where these players, such as Horford with a great defense on Embiid, his dad was in the stands. That was really, really cool. Brown, when he got fouled by Harden, and he was clapping and getting the crowd going, and then scored that nice layup. Williams he had some great offensive rebounds, a couple nice boards. Like, yeah, these guys aren't scoring 30 points a game, but those little plays, those little grit plays, really, really pushed us over the top, and it is what we needed, you know? And it was really cool to see that because we've all been waiting to see that Celtics team that we know and that we love, and they finally brought it in Game 7. So now, oh my God, these pregame shirts that say unfinished business on them. I swear the broadcast has mentioned them a million and 10 times, but we're gonna use it this time. We have unfinished business, so let's go on to it. Miami Heat. Here we are again. Butler and company, as I like to call them. Last year, we all know what happened. This season, we went 2-2 against them, and I'm wondering, can Tatum and the Celtics, can they use that momentum from Game 7? And can they carry it into this series? That's my first question for you guys. Call and leave a voicemail or text 774-277-8273 and let me know what you guys think. I'm going to be asking questions throughout this podcast. So if you guys, feel strongly about something, I really want you guys to get involved because it'll make the episode that much better. But as far as that question, I think the answer is yes. I think that Game 1, maybe even Game 2, we come out and we play a pretty dominant game. But I'm not so confident that they can keep that energy that whole time. They always show, that they play down to their competition and, they let them get away with more than they should, and they don't show how good they are like they did in Game 7. And I can definitely, I can see that happening again. But since, the Heat beat us twice this regular season, and we only won twice as well, they most definitely aren't scared of us, and they know they can win against us, which is obviously gives them confidence going into this series. So today is May 15, 2023. The game begins on Tuesday, so we have a couple days until the series starts. And let me just tell you guys, I am beyond ready to get rocking and rolling. I've wrote down some keys to the series on what I think is the most important and the biggest factors, whether we win, whether we lose, and just kind of how everything's gonna play out. And I think the one big question, and the main one that everyone's thinking about, is what kind of Jimmy Butler are we going to get? Are we going to get, oh, my ankle's not feeling good, so I'm not going to play that well, Jimmy Butler? Or are we going to get, I'm going to take over a few games and push this to Game 7, Jimmy Butler? I'm going to score 40 on you guys. Now, I think that Butler is healthy enough to steal at least one game. But can we contain him enough? And maybe he's not feeling as good, so we're able to limit his scoring through really good defense, playing strong on him, maybe making an adjustment where, Smart, Brown, White, someone's playing well on him. Just make the right adjustments to shut him down. In Missoula, that's obviously on him. Let's see what he tries to cook up if things aren't going so hot. But we'll get into him later. And the same goes for Tatum as it does for Butler. If the Heat lock down Tatum, obviously they just saw him score all those points. They know he's probably feeling it right now. So their main objective right now is probably, how are we going to limit that? How are we going to limit him? How can we make sure that he doesn't get into the groove that he did against the Sixers? We have way more depth than the Heat in general. And, Hero's still hurt. And they have a couple other key players that are hurt. So even with that, we have even more depth than them in that sense now. So if they do shut down Tatum, can our other guys step up? And they did a couple times this series, and I hope they can again. But the Celtics love to scare us, and I think that we may be in for another scare. But we'll see what happens. And as I mentioned Missoula earlier in the adjustments that he may have to make to, help the Celtics shut down Butler, or maybe make a decision late in the game when it's tied up, like he did in Game 4 against the Sixers. Um, are you guys confident that he can make the right decisions for us and not get absolutely schooled by Spoelstra? Because coaching obviously is a big factor, and a lot of people have gotten on Doc Rivers, and that he didn't make the right decision in Game 7, not doubling Tatum or whatever it may have been. So if Spoelstra does make those right decisions, and throw something at us that maybe we're not ready for, are we confident enough in Missoula to keep us in the game? Um, I'm not so confident, but I don't even know if it'll get to that point. It's just the Celtics are they're so iffy. Like, you never know what you're gonna get. I mean, we have the ability to sweep them, but they just need to show up, guys. They just need to show up. Now, let's make my prediction for the series as a whole. I think that we carry the momentum from Game 7 into the games at home. I think we probably take the first two at home, go up 2-0, going to Miami. And like I said, I think Butler steals them at least one game, whether that's Game 3 or Game 4. I think it's a no-brainer that he's going to get him at least one. I was going to go Celtics in 5, but knowing the Celtics and what we just spoke about, playing down to their competition, maybe Tatum, Brown not showing up, and the other role players not being able to get us enough points, get enough offense going, I'm going to take the Celtics in 6. Celtics in 6, guys. Lock it the F down. Now, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to be releasing episodes for this series. I may wait until the end of Game 2. I may do a Game 1 reaction. I'm not entirely sure yet. So with that being said, make sure you guys follow the podcast on your streaming services so you know when an episode drops. Subscribe on YouTube so you can get a notification when an episode drops. And one big thing, guys, too, is this voicemail I keep talking about. Once you guys start calling in and we can start chatting, and I'm going to start doing live shows, the show's going to be that much better. We're going to take it to the next level. I know it takes time to, gain listeners, gain a following, and get those calls. And obviously we have a ton of sports ahead of us. Red Sox, more Celtics, Patriots starting up. So we have plenty of time to get that community rocking and rolling and to get you guys involved. So the number is 774-277-8273. Call me with, your thoughts on today's discussion, some of the questions I asked, and predictions for this series. You guys can even call with your reactions after the games if you want. And I encourage that because it would be really, really cool to hear what you guys have to say and, speak on it. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Follow my socials below. My Discord's in there. My Twitter is in there. My VIP plays for betting are in there. Leave a review on your streaming service. Give it 5 stars. It helps dramatically. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll probably be back after Game 1, if not definitely after Game 2. Let's go Celtics, baby. Have a great one, guys.